Unfortunately, Democrats are only focused on one thing right now, Mr. Musk. The fact of the matter, he's quite popular. He has the largest platform in human history, which is, of course, Twitter/X. And I think we're missing the boat as Democrats. And all I'm saying is that sometimes it's better to join them and actually play a role in how the strategy works rather than so pathetically, frankly, try to combat something that clearly is a steamroller, and Democrats are being steamrolled.
The biggest mistake the Democrats are making right now, which I love, by the way, is the simple fact they don't want to jump on board with all of Donald Trump's popular policy positions, right? They don't want to close the border. They don't want to deport dangerous, criminal, illegal aliens. And of course, they don't want to cut government waste and spending through DOGE, okay? So rather than try to win back some of their lost credibility and get back in the good graces of the American people, they would much rather play the opposition party to things that are obviously popular and that people are desiring, which is why Donald Trump won in the first place. But of course, don't let me get in the way of this clip because we have Joe Scarborough going against Mike Lawler and he just gets destroyed. So let's check this out. But before we get to it, don't forget to like and comment on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
With USAID, we were just talking about it. I support PEPFAR. I support these programs because they save so many lives. But I also support it strategically as an old Cold War conservative. I understand that boots on the ground are important, but also humanitarian aid is important. It's also important what intel we pick up, whether it's from the Ivory Coast or Sudan or other parts of Africa and other continents. I'm curious what your thought is on how USAID should be approached.
Well, Joe, we're actually going to have a hearing tomorrow on USAID in the Foreign Affairs Committee, and a lot of these issues will be discussed. When you look at a program like PEPFAR, I have been very strong in my support for it. 60% of PEPFAR's program is administered by USAID. Secretary Rubio did grant a waiver for life-saving programs like PEPFAR, which obviously is critical on the continent of Africa, saving tens of millions of lives over the last 2 decades. Probably one of the best soft power accomplishments of the United States foreign aid program ever. But then you look at some of the expenditures by USAID. For instance, I uncovered over $3 million to a rap artist in Gaza producing anti-Israel, anti-Semitic songs. Is that the best use of American taxpayer dollars? I would venture not. And so one of the things that we're going to do in this hearing tomorrow, obviously, is go through what actually is the role of USAID, what should they be focused on, and frankly, what have they been focused on? And I think one of the things to keep in mind, Joe, in other parts of the world, some of the woke ideology that USAID was promoting is not welcomed by the people or the governments, and it actually can be counterproductive to what we're trying to accomplish.
Right.
So I think one of the things we need to recognize...
That's what you guys do, though. Like, that's what you go through in subcommittees. It's not like some radical Berkeley professor said, hey, let's give $3 million to a rap artist in Gaza who's going to do anti-American and anti-Israel.
No, the Biden administration did. That's part of the problem here.
But you have Congress, though, who funds USAID. So shouldn't you all be making these calls instead of Elon Musk?
But Joe, one thing I will tell you, and you as a former member of Congress certainly understand this, in the separation of powers, sometimes when you're asking for information, the executive branch doesn't want to share it. We had numerous hearings last Congress. We sent numerous letters to Samantha Power, to USAID, requesting more information. And for obvious reasons, they didn't want to provide it. What you've seen in the last few weeks, frankly, while some people may object, you certainly understand, Joe, oftentimes government moves at a glacial pace. And so, yes, we have seen things move very rapidly, but oftentimes when you're making an omelet, you got to crack a few eggs. And I do think that, unfortunately, is necessary as we're actually trying to uncover what these agencies and departments are doing, what they're spending money on, and is it in keeping with the United States mission? There's no question humanitarian aid, soft power is critical to our foreign policy. And when it comes to issues like PEPFAR, when it comes to issues like feeding the hungry, yes, that is a primary mission. But that's not exactly what USAID has been focused on.
So rather than admit that the USAID organization is rife with waste and possible fraud, Joe Scarborough says, oh, we need to focus on the good things the organization is doing. And I say, no, focus on the wasteful spending. Because why are we sending money to a rap artist in Gaza, i.e. Hamas, because they control everything that goes in and out of that country, right? Why are we supporting the people who hate us, the people who want us blown off the face of the earth as well, right? It's not just Israel they want to destroy, it's America, okay? So get with the program, Joe. That should not be happening. And also, Joe Scarborough says we need to be using this money as a way to increase America's influence around the world, which isn't a bad idea, but the problem is we're exporting the woke ideology into the Middle East, into the regions of this world that don't want anything to do with it. And as a matter of fact, people get killed over living certain lifestyles over there, right? Which just goes to show that this is in fact a huge pile of wasteful spending. But where's the oversight, Joe Scarborough says, right? Why isn't Congress looking into this? Well, they were trying to, but of course the USAID organization was not being cooperative, and they were covered by the Biden administration, right? They're not going to require them to release all of the documents and all of the wasteful places this money was being sent, right? They don't want the cat out of the bag. They don't want to turn off that spigot of free money to themselves, the re-election campaigns, the Democrat Party, right? They don't want to stop any of it. So why would they cooperate? But now finally, we're going to get some hearings. And I love the way that all of Joe Scarborough's arguments are basically being thrown by the wayside by Mike Lawler, right? Very effective reasoning, very effective arguments. And I love, as I said at the very beginning, how the Democrats are not jumping on board. They're refusing to take part in something that is going to be massive, that is already popular, and of course was one of the reasons why Donald Trump won. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.